Welcome back to the morning show right here on the Rise News channel. At the emergence of Peter Obi as the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in Nigeria, the party was constantly accused of not having a proper structure that can win elections in various positions in the country. At the moment, it seems things are beginning to fall in line for the party ahead of the 2023 elections. Former aide to former President Olusegun Obasanjo, Akin Osuntokun, who defected from the People's Democratic Party to the Labour Party, is now the Southwest leader of the party's. Osuntokun's announcement was made on Obedient TV, widely shared on social media. However, political analysts consider the former managing director of the news agency of Nigeria, who is from Ekiti State, as little on the field of political experience. So joining us live to discuss his new role in the Labour Party ahead of the 2023 elections is the man himself, Akin Osuntokun, and is here with us. A lot of people are saying, you are not a political weight, but you are in the Labour Party. What difference would you make?
You said I'm not a political weight.
Yeah, as the script implies there. You know, little in terms of political experience and all of that.
Whoever made that statement was very ignorant. First of all, I was foundation member of AD. Right. I was co-opted by Afeni Ferry. I was in The Guardian with Ruben, and you will remember the role we played, in confronting the Abacha's dictatorship. Afeni Ferry spotted a number of young people that they wanted to groom for leadership and invited them to come and join, and I did. And so I've been there. I was deeply involved in that politics. And up to today, if you go and ask I was actually the candidate for senatorial election in 1999, where a number of things happened. Now, of course, again, Ruben is here. We formed a group called the Progressive Action Movement, PAM, in 2001. It was a group of us who identified a gap, in the generational transfer of power, right? And this is accounted for by the fact that since 1966 or thereabout, up till 1999, we had only 4 years of civilian rule. So there was really no time, no opportunity for the country to groom potential political leaders. And so we addressed ourselves to that fact. Of course, I was invited by President Obasanjo in 2002 to come and lead his campaign, the election campaign, and also ended up as his political advisor. Now, I was practically in charge of 2 national elections in my position. First, I was director of media and publicity of the PDP. I was political advisor. In those positions, effectively managed 2 or 3 national elections. The election of Obasanjo in 2003, and that of Umaru Yar'Adua in 2007. And of course, equally with Jonathan. But I was not in government again at that time. Now, I don't know, you see, Nigerians have a way of I would take it as a matter of as a thing of pride if you don't associate me with the Tasso school. What they are trying to say, the kind of politics that they are describing, I'll be happy not to be associated with it, which is what we are trying to get rid of. Some of them call it structures and things like that. And our presidential candidate has responded to it very well. He said, the structure of criminality. That's what it said. So these are you see, we have some kind of ambiguous way of looking at Nigerian politics. The same people who are calling for a positive change, they will label those who can bring that positive change because they were not part of, they didn't have the experience or part of what had gone wrong before. So you see, so this is the ambiguity that people say all sorts of things that maybe because they read me on. It's not possible for me, a political advisor, without a direct experience of field referee.
Okay.
In 2003, 2002, 2007.
Okay,
Whoever says, and I also want to contest, I did not defect from PDP. I don't like that language.
So you're not like the PDP?
Okay, you cross the carpet.
No, you know,
Okay,
I've always said,
but which is the next thing I wanted you to talk about? I mean, you are known as a PDP chieftain. You fought many battles on the platform of the PDP. Then all of a sudden, you are now obedient. So, okay, why are you no longer part of the PDP campaign? Why did you leave the PDP? I hope that's better than defecting. Yeah. Okay, why did you leave the PDP, and what is your role in the Labour Party at the moment? And will you go back to the PDP?
Go back to PDP.
Okay, so tell us why you left.
Look, I formulated what Nigeria needs presently, right? If I'm where I am today is consistent with the positions that I've taken, in the past few years. First, the rotation of power to the south, and specifically to the southeast. Anybody who has been reading me, that's a constant theme, right, in my column. So logically, I'm being consistent where I am today. I cannot, with any iota of conscience, he may be a good man, but with conscience to go and support another Fulani Muslim to succeed Buhari, I think there is something, quite objectionable about that. So this, and of course, I was in the APC. Suffer a similar, ailment, and that, of course, is the Muslim ticket. So those two things, those two tickets, right? They are like an option between the rock and the hard place. There's nothing to choose between them, and they are coming with the specific baggage that are matured into our politics. That of crass insensitivity towards what to make Nigeria, come together towards building a country. How do you go from the ticket of PDP, right, to pursue the national integration of Nigeria? There are contradictions in terms. The same thing with the APC ticket. So, look, I met a young guy, actually, before that I saw somebody. He said, look, you are with Obi. He said you must be a good man, right? There's another friend who mentioned his name. We were talking about the three candidates. And he said, look, who on the table? I was the one, about 5 or 6 of us. You are with Obi? I said, yes. He said you must be a man of integrity. Even though he said, I don't want to word, in his own belief, he thought that the contest was between Atiku and Tinubu, but that in terms of evaluation from the standpoint of morality, from what is ethical, for what is good, you have a communal sense of being among Nigerians. There is no ticket, there is no way the APC and PDP ticket comes near that of the Labour Party. In terms of taking Nigeria forward, I study political science. If you have an objective, and that objective can never exclude national unity and integration of Nigeria, you cannot proceed from either of those two tickets to achieve it. The third one is the one from which you can proceed. Now, let me put it that way. It's just far higher of achievement of that objective. So people should know, unfortunately for Nigeria, power politics seem to have prevailed. No matter what you do, so long as you win, It doesn't matter. That seems to be the attitude today. Even if you have been saying that, for what you have argued for, whatever it is, you end up with what we have today in those two parties. They are inconsistent with the kind of, and if you ask any of them, what they will tell you is that, okay, somebody can win the election, or who is not a thief, or who is this and that. That is what they are. Cynicism, right? Cynicism and resignation to the status quo. Nobody, they don't care less. We are already condemned to be, Nigeria is already condemned to ruin. So we don't,
okay.
But we should be like the Obama movement, in the US, right? In terms of how it has caught the fancy of the young people. And the behavior of the younger generation in Nigeria is consistently logical. Yeah, it is the behavior of hope, of what you wish, or what Obama called the audacity of hope. Somebody comes in, to say that there is a third path from what you think you are fated for. And in almost all societies, that direction, direction turning towards what's good and proper, always championed by the young people.
Okay. I'd like to take you on this. Many times we've had people comment about President Olusegun Obasanjo giving some level of fillip to the Obi campaign. You are Obasanjo's man. For you to be in this campaign, there's no how you would not have talked about it with Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. Can we infer from you joining and the unveiling that will be happening soon that Obasanjo is also giving some level of push to the Obi campaign?
You want me to... Sorry, can you come again? I was asking
from
for
you. We all know Akin Osuntokun
and
Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, the close bond you share. You, I repeat, are Olusegun Obasanjo's man. For you joining the Peter Obi movement, there is no how you would not have talked about it with Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. Should we say that you coming aboard this Obi movement, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo is on board?
Yeah, I'm not going to commit him, but as I said, without prejudice to the other people, right? Whoever accepts or adopts certain positions about Nigeria, right? Those other two candidates, they're antithetical. There's no way anybody can seriously talk about Nigerian unity and integration and see any value in PDP or APC. They contradict that aspiration. So I'm using that to tell you that knowing Obasanjo's position on Nigeria is likely going to have preference or sympathy for that party that is whose ticket is consistent with the aspiration of national unity and integration. So to that extent, you will share, he knows but again, if you look at him, if you also look at what he has been saying, in the past few years about the situation in Nigeria and things like that, you can also see a logic, a consistency from that behavior to supporting somebody like Obi, right? That's what I'm saying. Look, me, I would have, as I said, there is nobody, the Obi movement came to meet me,
Right? So what you're saying is Chief Obasanjo has a leaning towards Peter Obi.
I think so.
He's supporting Peter Obi.
I think so.
Okay. Well, although President Obasanjo himself has not said so, the last that I read in terms of his statement was that he's pursuing a national agenda. and that he has not named anybody. Because when he was cited in London, in the company of, all these political aspirants, including Peter Obi, people started speculating. And he issued a statement saying he's interested in the national agenda. And we discussed it on this program. But we're waiting for President Obasanjo himself to clarify his position in that regard. I'm sure he can speak for himself. However, let me ask you. You dismissed the APC, you dismissed the
PDP.
The PDP. You said the Labour Party represents the third force, okay? But this morning, the Economist Intelligence Unit published that some of those things you said about the APC, for example. You said, oh, somebody proposing a Muslim ticket cannot fly. But the Economist Intelligence Unit in its report, which has been, published, says they don't think that it will matter that the APC has a Muslim ticket. And that from their own calculations, the APC will succeed President Buhari in 2023. Well, Atiku, they put down, they say because of the crisis within the PDP, Atiku, they don't think he stands a chance. But that Tinubu is a person they think will stand a chance. What do you say to that?
Well, I haven't seen the reports.
Well, it is out there, it's in the paper. I've given you the first summary.
I mean, for me to have a clear look at it and how they arrived at those kind of things, the parameters. If that is if it happens, if that is the conclusion, I don't know I don't know the parameters that they used. And for anybody to suggest that Muslim tickets, it may be efficient, but in terms of how Nigeria, the direction it should move, or what is good for the country, right? It's a non-starter. It's abnegation. So I don't know. That's why I said that's an opinion anyway. I mean, Economics Intelligence Unit is an opinion that has been wrong before. They can be, I don't know on the basis that Atiku was dismissed, and of course, again, if they want to be cynical or want to be realistic about Nigeria, I'm a bit surprised that they can write off Atiku like that is a non-starter. The truth of the matter is that Atiku and Tinubu are competing for the same political constituency. The priority, of course, is the Muslim North, right? If that is the case, and you have Atiku and Tinubu as candidates for presentation to the northern Muslim, my inclination, right, would be that they probably prefer Atiku. But so that is talking about the economy. I'm just saying that if you want to be cynical like they are doing, if you want to be, cold calculation that morality doesn't matter or whatever it is, how will they explain that? I don't see a situation in which what I've described, in which between Atiku and Tinubu as candidates before the Muslim North, and there's of course I don't want to use opposition, but you don't get the impression that the president particularly supports this APC ticket, right? He didn't have a hand in the nomination of who became their presidential candidate. The presidential candidate emerged regardless of his, was not interested. Now, when he emerged, he did a logical thing, which was to approach the president, who is the chief, landlord of APC, who is, the father of the APC, that please give me a running mate, nominate a running mate for me. And Buhari said, no. Go and pick whoever you pick as running mate will enjoy my 100% support. Now, the only explanation for that is to be very, to underestimate is that he's disinterested. In reality, that's a demonstration of hostility to that ticket. How can a president, a sitting president, say that I'm not interested in who the presidential candidate is, I'm not interested in who the vice presidential candidate is? Now, this is against the background in which the same president, right, made a specific request to the governors before the primaries that he wants reciprocity, that what those governors have done, in getting who to succeed them, and things like, or seeking re-election, right? And he wants a reciprocity from that, for the governors to also support him, to pick whoever he wants as his successor, as a candidate of the party. How can the same person, within a space of 2 or 3 weeks, say that, look, I'm no longer interested in who becomes the presidential candidate or the vice presidential candidate? I don't know, even in the US, that if you can see any sitting president, maybe Democrats or the right, you will say that he's not interested in who's, it may not be as crass as our own ear, but that's the rule, So, whoever does that analysis, that's why I said I haven't seen it, and I would like to see some of these things that, some of the factors you used.
Okay, I think we have to go now. Thank you very much, Akin Osuntokun. But just before we go, what's your precise role? Are you the spokesperson for the Labour Party in the Southwest, or you are the coordinator of the social media wing of the party, or you are...
No, I'm the coordinator of the party in the Southwest, of the Obi presidential campaign.
Okay,
in the
Southwest coordinator.
Yeah. Okay. You already said it in your...
No, just to be clear, because, some of these roles can overlap. Okay. Thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you all. Time for a short break. When we return, we'll have Aaron Akirja. Let's give us global sports updates. Stay with us.